Welcome back, all you Fabricans and Fleshbags, to the super, not funny show, reviews. And today we're reviewing The Equalizer, Season 3, Episode 4, entitled One Percenters, coming to you from CBS streaming on Paramount+. So, what did I think about it? And should you be watching? One Percenters features a hip-hop legend in the form of Big Daddy Kane as the leader of a local motorcycle club. That you could confuse them for a gang if you weren't, don't know what you're looking for. But and as Robin points out, they're not a gang. They're a club that helps out in the community and so forth. And why does this even come up? Comes up because a young lady needs help because she believes that her boyfriend's being set up to take the fall for distributing illegal guns into the community. And we saw this very stark, I guess you call it, very interesting stark beginning. And a van literally wide open with box of guns just free for anybody to get. Real weird. No one would do that. I mean, if you're going to run guns, you're going to actually, make money at it. And so this man, who turned out to be an ex-felon, goes on the run because he knows what time it is and that someone, probably setting him up to take the fall for something. And so that's where Robin comes into it. But also, sort of as a B, plot, you also have that at the house they need tech support for their cable box, and Dee says she's going to take care of it. But also that Robin has been ghosting her ex-husband, who clearly wants to talk about what the heck happened in the first episode of this season, and is concerned for the daughter, her Dee's safety. And so, but the vast majority of this is really trying to figure out what's going on with this guy and why'd somebody try to set him up. And it sends her, Robin and Harry and Mel, into not just like into the neighborhood, but tracking down, people that are in the club, talking to the leader of the club. But also, apparently there's a political angle because there is an upcoming election, and the current councilman that represents the district is being challenged by an old rich family, the scion of an old rich family, who have been in that area for a while, but clearly because it's mostly minority, hasn't had a foothold politically there in a while. There's a lot. Let me just say, I quite like this episode. It was a very fun episode. This is a kind of return to form. Every week there's got to be a fun and interesting, thrilling sort of story to be told, and that's what you get in this one. There's all the necessary ingredients. There's police. So Dante sort of gets involved, and actually let me take a sidetrack. There's the sidetrack is like one thing that is great, but also annoys me about this show is this whole will they, won't they going on between Dante and Robin. And obviously they will, but they are just playing with it. Because you see Dante, he pulls her over as a cop and to give her donuts. And it's all of that. I love that, but also, man, they're just teasing, and I feel like they're going to tease the entire season, especially after we've seen how far Dante will go for Robin, and they haven't done more than sort of exchanged real significant glances. But we'll see. I just wanted to point that out. But as Robin, Harry, and Mel kind of work their way through all of the leads. It seems like they set it up that, as I saw, like, oh, it's either the rich people did it, set him up, or the, current council person he set it up for political gain, essentially, to throw a guy under the bus so that they can look tough on crime or whatever, what have you. And it seemed pretty clear to me that that's what was going on. But as they sort of work their way through it, there's evidence for and against all of it. And I thought for certain. Like, hey, it's probably just the mom of the guy, and he's just, she's doing this just to make sure he gets elected. And it turns out not to be quite true. That there's in fact a guy who has a kind of a vested interest that works for the family that ended up doing it. But in the process of all that, there's motorcycle chases, and then there's a fight in the bar where Robin beats the heck out of a bunch of the biker club members, and it all ends with the suspect, the guy she's trying to help out, sort of holding somebody hostage, and a very powerful scene wherein Dante essentially doesn't just have to talk him down, but basically has to shield his body to make sure that the dozen police there don't shoot him. Even though he drops his gun, everyone clearly sees the guns down. They don't put their guns down until he stops literally hugging the guy, which is just one of the many indications. Like, this show, they really are. They're not trying to sugarcoat something. They're doing something different they're not steel manning police or anything like that. They're pointing out some of the flaws and problems with policing, and that's definitely one of them. I thought that was a really nice touch. I really liked that scene, but also just made me say, what the hell with it. And when it all said, and it sort of ends, all's well that ends well, even though he literally was holding a guy hostage. They somehow dropped the charges because it turns out that the guy that he was holding hostage was in fact sort of having his affairs and whatnot covered up by his mother, and so it all ends well. And I don't really like the fairy tale ending so much, but it is what it is, and we got to have some kind of closure. And then of course finally the whole thing with Dee and Robin's ex-husband wanting to know what's going on, and her not being able to tell him. And he tells her that he's going to file for full custody. And there, I've saw some people being like, this messed up, but like, is it really messed up? Like, consider what's going on. And I think Robin's thinking this too, that she, all the time in her professional life, she never put Delilah in jeopardy because she was out of the country. It had nothing to do. But now that she's working in the city and getting some, big enemies, and an enemy that came back at her in her own town, it's not so easy to keep her, Delilah safe. And he's not wrong. He is not wrong to think that this will be a time to maybe get full custody, so that there's no potential for that. And Robin can't guarantee that won't happen. There's no way. She's literally already been in danger because of what Robin does. So all of that's going to, I think we're going to see a lot more of that as the season proceeds. But just overall, like the episode quite a bit. I think it's a good return to form. Had a good time with the very fun stuff. And especially the send-off where she becomes an honorary member of the club. Very, very cool way to end the episode. So that's my thoughts on the episode. What do you think about it? What do you think about what I had to say? Get down to the comment section. Let me know your thoughts. Of course, you can always hit me up, supernotfunnyshow@gmail.com, or @supernotfunnys1 on Twitter. And do your boy a favor, get down there, hit the like on that on this video, and hit subscribe, notification bell, all that good stuff. Help out with the algorithm so more people can see these videos. All right, all you Fabricans and Fleshbags, thanks for joining me. Come back next week. We're reviewing episode 5 of The Equalizer. Till then, I've been Mo De Poupée, resident fabricant and comic extraordinaire on all things pop culture. And I'll see you guys on the other side of the thread. Peace.